Welcome to Edupedia World.
In this video, we will go through the meaning of poverty and what are the common characteristics of the poor people. In the previous chapters, we have studied the economic policies pursued by India after independence and the outcome of these policies with relation to the various development indicators. Providing minimum basic needs to the people and reduction of poverty have been the major aims of independent India. The 5 year plans have always stressed on upliftment of poor people and achieving a minimum standard of living for all. However, poverty is still one of the most serious problems from which the country is suffering. Poverty is a challenge not only for India but for the entire world, as more than one fifth of the world's poor live in India, that is, around more than 260 million people, and are unable to meet even their basic needs. So, what is the meaning of poverty? Poverty is a peculiar problem from which various countries of the world has been suffering. There cannot be a common definition of poverty which can be broadly accepted everywhere. Broadly, it can be said like poverty refers to a state in which an individual is unable to fulfill even the basic necessities of life. The minimum requirements include food, clothing, housing, education, and health facilities. In a country where a big mass of the population is deprived of even minimum amenities of life for a very long period, then such a country suffers from a vicious circle of poverty. Now, the question arises, who are poor? Poverty is a great curse on humanity. A poor person lives in a wretched life as he is unable to enjoy the barest necessities of life, which makes him morally degraded. He cannot conduct himself as a human being. The treatment that he gets from the society demoralizes him. Poverty is a harsh reality for a large section of the Indian population. Poverty in India has been studied from 2 points, that is, urban and rural. In urban areas, poor people include pushcart vendors, street cobblers, rag pickers, beggars, etc. They possess few assets. They reside in kacha hutments with wall made of baked mud with roof made of grass, thatch, bamboo and wood. The poorest of them do not even have such dwellings. The urban poor are largely the overflow of the rural poor who had migrated to urban areas in search of alternative employment and livelihood. Now, in rural areas, poor people include landless agriculture laborers, cultivators with very small land holdings. Landless laborers engage in a variety of non agricultural jobs or tenant cultivators with small land holdings. Many of the rural people are landless, even some of them possesses land, it is only dry or wasteland. Many rural people do not get to have even 2 meals a day. So the poor India is characterized in 2 points, that is urban poor and rural poor. Now we come to the common characteristics of poor people. And that first one is hunger, starvation, and malnutrition. Starvation and hunger are the basic problems of the poorest households. Malnutrition is alarmingly high among the poor. Next point comes poor health. They are generally physically weak due to ill health, disability, or serious illness. Their children are less likely to survive or be born healthy. Next characteristic is limited economic opportunities. They have very limited economic opportunities due to lack of literacy and skills. So they face unstable employment. They are not able to negotiate their legal wages from employers and are exploited. Next comes debt trap. They borrow from money lenders who charges high rate of interest that push them into chronic indebtedness. Next characteristic is lack of facilities of electricity and water. Most poor households do not have access to electricity. Their primary cooking fuel is firewood and cow dung cake. A large section of poor people do not even have access to safe drinking water. Next point is gender inequality. Gender inequality prevails within the family in regard to participation of gainful employment. Education and in decision making, poor women receive less care on their way to motherhood. And the last characteristic is bigger families. The poor families are bigger in size, which make their economic condition even more worse. So these are some of the common characteristics of the poor people, especially resides in India.
Thank you for watching Edupedia World videos.